recorders?
So Rabbi Kurtstag told the story. It was a couple years ago, at least 10, 15 years ago. And the student said, Rabbi, I can't come to the shiur. Can I bring my tape recorder? We could leave it on the table. So the rabbi said, that's all right, because maybe I can't come. I'll bring my tape recorder also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember, I don't
I
remember.
remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember now you reminded me.
Yeah. Here you go. So it's not a good idea to bring a tape recorder because a shiur means it's an interpersonal situation. It's not a question of listening to recordings. It's a question because you see the rabbi and you can communicate and you can ask a question.
Yeah,
Makes a big difference. You can't compare
it's
it.
only a tape recorder recording is good for people who are not able to attend.
Yeah.
At university, there is a possibility the students will just leave tape recorders and the lecturer will give a lecture.
No, I'm sure they will not do that. That will be an insult to the lecturer.
Okay. Rav and somebody else is coming. Leslie Harris is arriving. Rav, can I just...
Leslie,
she's arriving. Can I just mention... Rav, can I mention something that happened last week? Can I just mention before we start this year?
Okay.
So last Thursday night, I came home and there was a funeral at Har Herzl. And I thought I must go. So I just felt a duty to go to this funeral. His name was Dekel. He was an officer. And the Rav who started the Hesped said something unbelievable. He said, here in Beit Vegan, there were Bochrim that went to the Rosh Yeshiva. It was Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach in Kol Torah. And they said, can we go to Chul, to the Kforim of the Tzaddikim? I'd heard a similar story before, but this was amazing hearing it at Har Herzl. And then he went on to say, he looked at them and he said, why do you want to go to Chul? Just go up the road. Go to the military cemetery. There you'll see the Tzaddikim. And this rabbi who gave this hesped, he said, tonight we are burying one of the Tzaddikim. And you know, Rabbi, everybody at that funeral was tearing. It was so emotional. I just can't tell you how emotional it was. That was a week ago.
You can go to our Herzl, to there where all the soldiers are buried.
Yeah.
Tzaddikim, yeah.
It's not pashut. It's not pashut. Yeah.
Not pashut. Not simple now. What's going with Eretz Israel, the only thing what really I cannot accept the way that in this time where Israel is now struggling for existence, you still have the people now started to criticize the government and what happened, why it came to this. I'm sure that there was a lot of question and negligence. There was too much of overconfidence, and they thought we are the best army, the best equipped, and they underrated the possibility of the Hamas. But this is something to be left after the thing will be over. Then you ask question, and I'm sure that a lot of people will have their heads cut off, including in Netanyahu. But now, at the time of war, to try and make such a balagan, this is unacceptable.
Yeah, you're right, Rob, you're right, for sure. But a lot of people are saying we dealing with what's going on, and then later they'll deal with all the failures, because there were tremendous failures, unbelievable failures.
Anyhow, look, we will start, and whoever is here, and whoever is not interested will be interested. He can say the recording if he wants, because it is a little piece of Gemara.
Ruvain's coming, Rav. Ruvain's
Yeah,
coming.
I'll give you exactly. Reuben now came in. We are in 6A4, the last line. Okay, so just to recap, what is the subject? We have a machloket between Rav Yosef and Rav Sheshet. Rav Sheshet came and he said that if there are two witnesses somewhere who claims that they saw that she had defiled and had a relationship, this woman, then the water will not make any test. And there is no way that the water will prove anything. This is what Rav Sheshet said. And Rav Yosef said, no, the water will prove. However, if it happened that there is some merit for her, it might not, but nevertheless it will still have some effect on her. So this is the machloket that we learned last week. And now, the last line on 6A5, the last line, Mativ Rav. Rav is challenged Rav Sheshet, who said that if there are witnesses somewhere they knew, the water will not prove anything. So Rav Sheshet quoted, and here we need to have it, it's a little bit, we need to add certain knowledge. As the sotah, the one that has to drink the water, first of all, she has to bring offering, mincha. This is flour offering, which has to be it has got sanctity as a korban, as a sacrifice, and also there is a process what you do with this flour offering. And what happened, we saw that this flour comes from rye, and because she is suspected to behave in a very low way, so the offering is something from not from flour, but something which is made from rye, and which is not usually the menachot. Usually the offering, flour offering, was wheat and so on. But the main thing what the Gemara wants now to prove whether there is such a thing. Rav Sheshet claims if there are witnesses, they know of what happened, even they don't testify, the very fact that they exist the water will not prove anything. Mativ Rav. So I'm starting the last line, 6a5. Rav comes and challenges Rav Sheshes statement. ואלו שמנחותיהם נשרפות. The following are those that this mincha, this offering which she brings, will not be brought to the mizbeach, to the altar. It will be burned, and we'll see in a minute what does it mean, burned. That it means it becomes no use for anything and cannot be done with it anything. And the following are those that they're אומרת מאה אני. If a woman admitted, I'm defiled, או עדים או שבאו לה עדים שהטמעה, or there is witnesses, they come and testify that she defiled. So we don't continue with the procedure, and we cannot put it to offer it on the altar, and it will be burned. You can't do anything with this but to burn it. And the Gemara now come to analyze these witnesses that come and testify that she defiled. When did they come? If they came and already said that she defiled, they gave evidence before this, what's supposed to be the offering, before it was sanctified. Now, what was the procedure? The procedure is, there is this offering, you have to put it in, it's called Kli Sharet, one of the, let's say, bowls of the Beis Hamikdash, which is part of the process to sanctify the offering before it is being offered on the altar. Now, if we say that the witnesses come before it was put on Kli Sharet, on this bowl which sanctifies it, Tepok Lechulin. What do you have to burn the offering? There is no sanctity yet. It didn't become sanctified. You stop the process. There is no point of continue and bring the offering to the Mizbeach because she's already admitted she defiled. So why have to burn the offering? Ela Batar de Kadosh. So we must say that this mincha, this offering, was already sanctified by being put in this special bowl. And now, after that, before it was offered, and all this done, the offering, and they put on the altar, before actually she drank the water. Now, so now, what do we say here? We say that this offering was sanctified. However, before they put it on the altar, now she admitted that she defiled. So continue the Gemara and says, if you understand that the water would examine her even if there are witnesses who can say that she's guilty, still if she drinks, the water still will attest to this. Then we understand why you can't just take this flower offering to redeem it, because she has it is already being sanctified. That something is sanctified, you can't do anything with it. So therefore we must say, Alma bat migdash umikravi. Then you can understand why it is burned, because it was sanctified and offered. It was offered on the altar, despite the fact that there are witnesses to say that she defiled. But this is the sanctity is still in this mincha, and therefore Havichi Kadush Miikara, and it became sanctified, and therefore Mishumachi Minchata Nisrefet. Therefore, we can understand, since it's the sanctity is valid, you can't do anything about it but to burn it. However, but if you say like Rav Sheshet, that if there are witnesses, the water will not prove anything, then the waters, if it won't examine her, that means that this flower that was, so to speak, put on a kli sharet to sanctify it, it becomes, it revealed in retrospect that it was not sanctified, because already at that time, we see now that there were witnesses, they know that she defiled, and according to Rav Sheshet, if there are witnesses who know about that she was defiled, then you don't give her to drink. So it means that the whole thing was in error, that we sanctified this, so why should burn it? If it is in error, just take it, and you have to redeem it because it's got some kind, it belongs to the temple, so you can just give money for it to redeem it, and should not be burned, but should rather go out of the sanctified state to a state of non-sanctity. So this is a question, a challenge to Rav Sheshet, because according to Rav Sheshet, this what's supposed to be offering was, it in retrospect shows that he was to give her status of sanctity was error, and therefore you shouldn't burn it. If the Mishnah says you have to burn it, then it shows that whatever, even there are witnesses who can testify that she defiled, still the water has a purpose to prove if they are right or wrong. Okay, this is what the kasha of the Gemara. Amar Rav Yehuda mediskreta. Rav Yehuda came from a place diskreta, and this is a very strange thing what he wants to say, כגון שזינתה באזהרה. We said that when the witnesses come and say, or will say, that she defiled, at the time that they sanctified the offering, she was innocent. Where they come and the witness say, come and tell us that after it was sanctified and was brought to the temple, she committed adultery in the temple courtyard. And they'll say it's a very strange way how to look things. A woman comes to the temple, she's prepared to drink the water, and while she's there, she goes and committed adultery. זינתה באזהרה. דחי קדוש מעיקרא שפיר קדוש. In that case, at the time, originally, when it was sanctified, it was valid. And therefore, even now, when witnesses say that she defiled, you can't do anything with that but to burn it. Matkif Rav Misharshia. So Rav Misharshia questioned, how can it be, הלא פרחי כהונה מלווים אותה? We learn in the Mishnah that youngsters, young Kohanim, escort her around the temple, around the temple courtyard, for the duration of the procedure of drinking the water. Then how could she possibly committed adultery if she's watched by the two young priests, young Kohanim? Answer the Gemara that even more strange, שזינתה מפרחי כהנה עצמם. That these young Kohanim, they committed adultery with her in the country, in the temple court. As I said, it's strange how the rabbis could find such a possibility that at the court, the temple court yard, she will commit adultery with whom? With the young Kohanim, young people we are on the training to become priest, she is committed with them. Strange. Therefore, Ravashi want to say something else. אמר רבשי כגון שנצרכה לנקבע. This can happen in a case when she needed to relieve herself. In other words, she stopped in the middle to say, look, I need to go to the toilet. And there she committed adultery. The fact that you are this young Kohanim, they are not going to accompany her to the toilet. So therefore, there she was not under any watch, and therefore she could have committed adultery there. The Gemara uses saying, do you think that the young Kohanim are hanging from a red covering, that she should not be able to evade them? So this is another way, a way how to say that Rav Sheshet, the Rav Sheshet is not challenged by this. And the Rav Papa comes and he says something different. Lo olam kedamre mikara, as we said originally, that yes, there are witnesses that will testify for being defiled. However, your question was, if this is the case, in it shows in retrospect that it was not, the mincha was not actually proper sanctified. I want to tell you, this is only midrabanan. The fact that you can't redeem it and to take it out is only a rabbinical decree. גזירה שמא יודמו מוציאים מכלי שרת לחול. Strictly speaking, according to the law, this is not, it's not sanctified. Why? Because now we know that there are witnesses that she defiled. However, Rabbi said you can't just take it out from to make it non-sanctity. Why? Because people, they don't know what's going on. You see, they see that they took flour, put it in one of the vessels to sanctify, and now if we go and say the sanctity is not there, they would say that everything which was sanctified actually hasn't got any validity, and you can just turn it out. So therefore, the rabbis, strictly speaking, there is no sanctity. But since people might have thought that it was sanctified, and therefore they put a law that you can't do anything with it, just to burn it, and because of this these circumstances. So Rav Sheshet is still okay with the statement that if there are witnesses, the water will not prove anything, and therefore the offering which was done prior to that, strictly speaking, has no validity. No, it's only a rabbinical decree to burn it, that people should not by mistake think that anything that was sanctified can be, how do you say it, to become non-sanctified. So this is what Rav Papa answers. So we've got here two ways how to understand why this offering, the mincha, should burn and not just become completely non-sanctity. Okay, this is part of it. Now they continue. The only thing is, of course, that is very, very strange. I said, I'm sure that anybody, how can we imagine the possibility that two young Kohanim, who, according to one to Ravashi, not to Ravashi, somebody else that say that she was accompanied by the two Kohanim, two youngsters, to watch her, and then she committed adultery with them, and were in the temple compound. This is very, very strange. But this is the only way how the Rav Sheshet can save his statement without being challenged by this Braita.
Rav, just one little question, please.
Yeah.
Why could they not have women who are Kohenets accompanying her? Surely it would make more sense to have women accompanying her to avoid this problem. Why does the Torah or the Gemorra, I mean, we know that in certain cases women can act as Eidim. So why in this case do they have to have young Kohanim? They could have young women who are Kohenets, and they could safeguard and look after her.
Yeah, but the point is that
the problem.
No, yeah, but because the the compound was the only Kohanim could enter, males. Women Kohanim, there is no women Kohanim. Even a woman that she was born to a father a Kohen, it doesn't make her to be a Kohen. She's like a non-Kohen. So this is only, in this compound, could be only male Kohanim. This is number one. Number two, I would say as well, could be that there is a danger, or not a danger, that women may be, will try to protect her and not to fulfill the duty for what it is. But the first answer is the answer. But I say, the whole thing, to say that she will commit adultery in the Bet Mikdash compound, and with whom? With this young Kohanim, we were supposed to watch her, is strange, but it is even, you must understand the way how the Gemara tries. In order to dispute something from a text, it has to be absolutely impossible, even if there is 1% a possibility, then the dispute is not really a dispute. So since even it is very unusual and not logical, but still there is a possibility, you can't challenge Rav Sheshet to say that his statement is completely knocked out because there is a possibility of 1%, then this unusual thing can happen.
Well, we got 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, so we are actually close this discussion for today. The Gemara continues still on the subject, but this will, please God, will continue Mirza Hashem next week. In the meantime, I wish you Shabbat Shalom, and let us stop in prayer and pray that this terrible war we should finish, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu should look after us, after the soldiers, the citizens, and the main thing, of course, those that were kidnapped. This is the main. I'm very concerned about them. So Shabbat Shalom and
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good news.
Please God.
Shabbos,
Shabbat
thank you.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat